Hello and welcome to your weekly sports report. I'm your host, Anis Melham. As always, I'm with my co-hosts.
Sonny Big Man Dio.
And
Jasper Desange.
welcome to the team, Jessa.
Thank you.
And you've tuned in to the soccer edition of the weekly sports report. We're calling it the soccer edition from now on as the World Cup is over. And we are going to start focusing on the start of the season, training camp, and everything that starts next month in August. But let's start with the World Cup final. Great game. Probably one of the highest scoring World Cup finals in recent memory anyway. I mean, I don't think I remember a World Cup final in my lifetime that has been where 6 goals have been scored. I don't recall a single one.
4-2 is just such a weird scoreline in soccer.
I enjoyed the game. I thought it was entertaining.
Oh, I did too.
I loved it.
It was a good final.
It was a good final. I don't like the penalty call.
Okay, I'm glad you say that because I do like the penalty call.
Really,
So,
I don't like that review thing. Is sometimes I understand the review is good for the game and stuff, but thing is sometimes you got to go with the referee and just go with the error. Like whatever he sees on the calls, what it should be. Too much stoppage time. There's about 4 minutes, I believe, where they stop the game, they overlook the call. And soccer, you don't have that. This is not football. This is not hockey. In soccer, players aren't used to that. And I think that play really changed the game.
It did, and of course the time kept ticking in the meantime, right? So that also puts everybody, the momentum that they had building, it kind of kills it while they make the decision as to whether or not they're going to have the penalty kick. And of course, Griezmann went on and scored. I'll be honest, the reason why I like it is because you're talking about a sport where there's just too many questionable calls and match fixing that happened over the years. I mean, think of it this way: in the way that you say that this was a questionable call because it was a handball on I think it was Perisic, right?
Yeah.
In a way that it was a handball on Perisic. Remember the hand of God in the '86 World Cup, right? Like that's a questionable goal, but it counts, and forever it's known as the hand of God goal and whatever. And if they had VAR back then, that wouldn't have counted. And now they have it, and this did.
But that's also considered one of the greatest goals in soccer history.
It's
It's
iconic
infamous
moment,
goal.
yes.
Infamous, and it helped
goals.
them go on to win the World Cup.
Sure.
It's not just infamous, it's iconic.
Yes, everybody's
It's an iconic
People
moment,
talk
right?
about that goal more than they talk about the one he scored right after.
Right.
Yeah.
Or what was it before? Because I don't remember the also.
I think it was after.
Yeah, because he went basically through 3 or 4, maybe even 5 defenders and popped it in.
Yeah,
and they say that's one of the
whole
nicest
team on,
goals.
yeah.
Yeah, they say it's one of the nicest goals ever.
True.
And I kind of agree with Jado. I get it. It's a good concept, but it does take away the human error, right? Because like even growing up playing soccer, that type of play, it's not a call. It's let go.
What's
right?
wrong with it? No, you know what? It's let go if it's in a natural position. His arm was not in a natural position. I know he was putting it back down. He was trying to get it into a natural position, but it hit his hand. It was handball. Like at the end of the day, I want the right calls to be made, especially in a sport where it's questionable that they're making the right calls at all. So
See, I have no problem with VR for when it comes for goals.
Yeah.
See if the balls cross the line and stuff like that. But I think there was too much stoppage of play, and they're going to the box and looking at what's going on, and it stops the flow of soccer. And soccer is a continuous game.
Yeah.
Right. And I believe that kills the momentum for whatever team has it at that point.
I felt like Croatia completely stopped at that point. Like I thought their momentum completely dropped at that point.
I agree. Because they were down 1-0 and they had just tied it 1-1, and a couple minutes later that happened.
Yeah.
And they were bringing it, and I think after that goal went in, they just lost focus and everything. They were heartbroken.
they were heartbroken for a little while. It took them a little bit of time to sort of build it back up. But at the end of the day, I mean, they still held the majority of possession in the game. France played their game again. They played the counterattack. They played the long ball because Mbappe's faster than everybody, But then, they also had luck on their side. The way that Perisic scored his goal, where it was in the box, and then they passed it back to him, and then he just blasted it home. Yeah. Pogba scored basically the same goal in the second half. Where Pogba shot it with his right leg, it bounced back, and then shot it with his left, and then it went in. I mean, the reality is both teams, they had their chances. Both teams they did bring in, and you know what? This is the World Cup final. A call goes against you. Suck it up. Go back out there and score another one. Like they got a gift goal too, right? When Mandzukic scored it when Lloris just had a brain fart, I guess the same way that Karius did
Yeah.
in the Champions League final when Benzema scored that one, right?
It's a little different.
Sure.
4-1 lead.
I know.
Yeah.
Versus a tie game, yeah. But again, it is one of those where like it was for France, they had built up enough of a lead, but for Croatia, it was like, okay, maybe we have a chance to come back.
It opened the door a little.
Yeah, it opened the
But
door, and they weren't able to take advantage.
That
of course.
defense they play is too suffocating. The style of soccer that they play, they counterattack. They have almost everybody back.
They play it perfectly.
I don't know if it's not very.
Just for them, like
It's as close to perfect as you can get.
It is like they play their game plan each game to a T.
Yeah, they do. I give them credit for that.
Look, one of the things that Deschamps was saying to the French team at halftime was just key in on Mandzukic. These guys are always just trying to get him the ball over and over again. If you key in on Mandzukic and you key in on Modric in the midfield, yeah. Well, he specifically mentioned those guys though. Like if you key in on those guys, especially Mandzukic, they're not going to score again. Like just make sure you play your position. Make sure when you get the ball, kick it up. Play the long ball. Our forwards are faster than the defense. Maybe we'll pop a couple more home, and they did. They really played that game all the way down to a T. I just this is really how I feel about the game. Regardless of the call, right? Croatia just played a superior team, and they lost.
Yeah,
that's
I agree.
Yeah, France was better overall on the field, right? They had more talent spread across the field for sure.
Yeah.
But then you have a guy like Mbappe, who's just explosive, and that's hard for any defense to handle.
He's only 19.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
winning young player of the tournament, World Cup, in his first World Cup appearance. This guy can still play in another 4 World Cups. Think about that.
3 for sure. 3 for sure.
3 for sure.
4,
Possibility.
depending on his health and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be the next great one.
Yeah,
It's looking that way.
Yeah.
It's definitely looking that way.
it's early, but
He's already got a
definitely.
World Cup under his belt.
Exactly.
First
He's got the
teenager.
hardest thing under his
But
belt.
the thing is, that team, I don't know if he wasn't the main piece of that team,
Yeah.
but he was a big part of it.
Exactly.
His speed was huge.
That was a big factor, though, too, that he didn't have to be the main part.
Yeah, and
He
that
just got to do what worked, like what he was really good at,
Yeah.
right?
because that team is so deep. You got Griezmann, you got Pogba, you got Conte. Conte's a beast. He doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
He's going to get a big time raise here coming.
Well, he's already in Chelsea. He just moved. Remember, he moved from Leicester to Chelsea.
Yeah.
So that was a big move. He might move. I heard he might be moving again.
Yeah. Yeah. For a lot more money. Than
Yeah. A couple of years ago, this guy was in Div 2 of the
Yeah, Div 2 or 3 or something
of
like
the
that.
French
Yeah,
league.
yeah, it was something insane. Like
Yeah,
that.
and now he's a World Cup champion.
Yeah, and
That's
considered
crazy.
one of the best defensive midfielders
Yeah.
in the game.
And like I said, France got too much talent.
They do.
Just to close in on Kylian Mbappe, first teenager to score in 60 years in a World Cup final since Pele. Pele was 17, Mbappe was 19, but that's a hell of an accomplishment to be put up in the ranks of one of the greatest players of all time. So, definitely look forward to him to have a great career. Still with PSG, but they're saying he might be on the move too this later on in this transfer window.
And he just got there the last year.
But now they're saying PSG is stepping up to pay him too.
Well, I'm sure they want to hold on to him and Neymar, considering everybody else wants to load up now that Ronaldo moved all the way to Juventus. And I called it. I told you guys
Zinedine.
that Zinedine Zidane would move to Juventus after Ronaldo went
It's
there.
all about the Netflix series, man.
It really.
It's all about the Netflix series.
So one thing I did want to go back to the World Cup final. Rafael Varane. This guy is a fucking winner.
It's only 24, dude.
He's won everything. And what he's saying, only the Euro he hasn't won,
that's
right?
the only thing he's
so
got left.
he's won the La Liga title.
Yeah.
He's won the Champions
Yeah.
League, and now he's won the World Cup.
He's won all those trophies in Spain, like the Copa del
Yeah,
Rey.
the
whatever.
Copa.
Yeah.
All those
Whatever
trophies.
there is.
All those
All
other.
things left on his resume is a Euro championship.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure in 2 years they'll have a good chance.
They'll
of
have a
that.
really good chance.
Yeah, and he's young enough that if they don't win it in 2 years, they might win it in 6 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
I
he's
think
got
he's like
another
25,
chance.
24.
24, 25.
He's got some time.
He's got years.
That's
He's
a
got some
lot of
time.
winning to do in your first 4 or 5 years of your career or something like that for a guy like Verona. That's pretty awesome.
He's that old school prototypical center back too, like Maldini, where he's just big. He just covers that middle so well.
Plays well.
Yeah, it's a big.
So sorry to cut you off. My favorite part of the World Cup final was actually at the trophy presentation.
Yeah.
Because just before, you guys are both laughing because you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And they're all going up to get their medals, and it starts pouring like a motherfucker out
Yeah.
there. And suddenly, out of nowhere, Putin's out there giving medals. Putin gets an umbrella right away.
I
But
got a
the
question.
French
I
president,
got a question. Usually, as the president of the host country, does he go out and give out medals?
yeah, a
Okay.
lot of the
I
times
didn't
they
know.
do.
I didn't know that. I don't know who the whole committee was.
I mean, I mean, I'm sure sometimes they don't, but in a tournament that prestigious, the president usually goes.
Oh,
out.
you knew Putin was going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's going to let the world know.
I don't think they're usually. I don't think they're usually that front and center though.
But let's get back to the point that I just wanted to make, where there was only one dude came out and there was an umbrella only over him, and nobody else had an umbrella for about 5 minutes.
So it's like the French and the Croatian presidents are like soaking wet,
And the president of FIFA.
and the president of FIFA is soaking wet, and Putin's just chilling, and no medals.
And then about 5 minutes later, everybody's got. When Putin makes a call, and everybody's got an umbrella.
Yeah,
10
Putin-
guys pop up with umbrellas as soon as Putin said so.
Putin wanted to make sure he had the gap so everybody knew he was the first under the umbrella.
Oh, we should also mention player of the tournament, Luka Modric.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, well deserved.
Well deserved for him. Yeah. Goalkeeper of the tournament was Thibaut Courtois.
Yeah.
Who actually we'll get to as well because he's rumored to be sold to Real Madrid for £30 million.
Already sold?
It's possible. Yeah. Chelsea's looking for a new goalkeeper,
wow.
and this
Belgium
could mean
player,
that
man.
Keylor Navas is out of his way, is out at Real Madrid. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. But great accomplishment for Thibaut Courtois. I think he actually was maybe the best goalkeeper in the whole
he
tournament.
played
I
well.
think you could have made a really, really good argument for Hugo Lloris until he allowed that stupid goal by Mandzukic. I think that killed it. You just can't win
Yeah.
the Gold Glove at that point when you've done that.
I thought he's a huge difference maker in the semis against Belgium.
Yeah, he was.
The first half, I thought he kept them in it. Belgium had some chances. It could have been 1 or 2-0, and he played stellar.
Yeah, he did.
I agree. Like that first half performance in the semifinals, that was probably one of the better performances from a goalie in the tournament, right? Especially considering Belgium was on fire, man.
They were playing well.
If they got a goal, 2 goals there, they're in the finals, right?
Yeah, anything could have happened at that point. Harry Kane wins the Golden Boot for. I think he was stuck at 6 goals. I don't think he scored in his last
He
two
had 6,
two
but hey,
games.
he had a hell of a tournament.
He did have a hell of a
24-year-old
tournament.
captain with one of the most pressured media. Like,
As an England fan, I'm
performance.
happy he had a really good tournament.
Yeah.
The whole English team did.
Yeah, good for him. Good for Gareth Southgate as well. They named one of the underground stations in London after Gareth Southgate
God.
for a day. But you know what? Good for him. He's keeping that job.
to Desange's point, this is the first time in a while where, if you're an England fan, you can actually be happy with your team
Yeah.
because they did perform well, right?
And they're young.
They're really young, third youngest in the tournament.
Here's the thing, though. I think England blew their chance. I don't think they would have beaten France anyway, but realistically, I don't think they're going to make it this close for a long time.
We'll see. It's all about development. I think some teams are going to start falling off.
Yeah.
Guys are getting older. 4 years is a long time. Even 2 years in Euro with injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
And England's supposed to be one of the better countries producing talent.
Going forward, yeah.
Hopefully they've gotten it right somehow.
Yeah, like I kind of disagree with you guys. I think England's about to. Maybe they won't win the tournament, but they're going to be competitive. Not as in like they're not going to get knocked out before they should. I think they're always going to be a contender.
But this is really what it's about. It's about, like, you look at France, they lost in the final in 2016 at the Euro. They just won this World Cup. We're already sitting here saying, oh, yeah, they could do it all again in a couple of years. With a team like it that's becoming a powerhouse like that, or you have your usual contenders like your Germany's or your Italy's maybe coming back, your Holland's maybe coming back. Belgium they still have one more run in them, like this generation. Okay, they won the bronze at the World Cup, which is the best ever finish for Belgium, so good for them. I know it's not what they wanted, but it's the next best thing. And then right after that, they have another chance in 2 years to maybe bring some hardware home.
The thing is, with the Italies and the Netherlands, I think they're going to be, this Euro that's coming up, they're going to be starting what England already started. they're going to have to, because they've been playing old for a while and it has been working. They're going to start bringing the youth through the system, playing the younger teams and stuff. So I think England's actually ahead of them at this point.
And England's got a lot of young talent that's still coming up. I know there's a guy in City, I think his name is Phil Foden or something. He's like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
And also they have Trent Alexander-Arnold, who just sat on the bench at the World Cup.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of the style of soccer they're playing is different.
Oxlade-Chamberlain was actually also
he was
injured.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually is probably injured for the next 6 months as well.
He's
so.
going to be out for a while, and he's
Yeah.
pretty young.
He's pretty young too. He's 24, I think.
I think they actually have a legit goaltender now too, man.
Yeah, they do. Pickford is good.
Pickford is good.
That was something that was always a problem with them too.
Yeah, I remember growing up the likes of David Seaman.
Yeah, David Seaman.
Even
Joe Hart.
It was
these guys
always
are bombs, man. It
was always
David
something.
Seaman let a shot in from half.
That happened. Somebody else did it against USA in one tournament too.
What, Tony Miola?
Yeah, that was 94.
But it's always been this guy. He was solid back
He
then.
played well, and the shootout he was well.
Oh, he was
Exactly.
sick.
He's like one of those attacking
sick.
goaltenders.
Yeah, he played well in the shootout, man.
So I think that's a big thing, man.
Guys, I think I honestly think you're giving them too much credit. They had an easy bracket. They
I'm not saying they did it, but sometimes you need that confidence to build.
No, I understand. I completely understand. And they had good coaching. They had stellar coaching.
Yeah.
They
coaching-
executed. And they executed. They were great on the set pieces. I mean, this team, there's a lot to be proud of, and there's a lot there. I
I
think
think
you're right.
Rashford didn't get much playing time.
No, he didn't. He'll get better.
His team will get better.
I think there's a lot of them. I agree. They're going to get better. I think Harry Kane's going to be even better. He's only 24.
Dele Alli will be better.
Yeah.
Dele Alli looked like a stud at some
Yeah.
time.
Only person that I had a problem with was Raheem Sterling.
I think I agree.
Okay.
If he would have used his pace like Mbappe,
Yeah.
I know he's not as strong as him.
He can't finish.
Yeah, he just can't get the job. He gets open to the areas. He just can't
I
do
don't
it.
think his IQ is that great either. I think that's an issue too because he has the tools. He just doesn't know how to use them. Like I thought Lingard looked better than him.
Oh yeah, way better.
I like Lingard. I think
Lingard's
that
good.
guy's going to be a good player.
He's going to be good too.
Actually, there's a rumor has it that Manchester City might be looking to sell Sterling now after his poor showing at the World Cup, which is really it's kind of backfired because he was looking for a new contract. Was thinking I'll go play at the World Cup, I'll showcase my skills, I'll do great, and I'll get a massive contract. And now looks like it's going to go the other way. So unfortunately for Raheem Sterling, poor showing in the World Cup.
I wouldn't sign him in FIFA.
So let's talk about some transfers, guys. Your boys from Liverpool are really loading up. They've had a hell of a transfer window this summer.
Players want to go there.
Yeah, they do.
These players had interest from Man City. They had interest from Chelsea. They had interest from other EPL teams. They chose Liverpool.
That's right. So the latest signing is Brazil's starting goalkeeper from the World Cup, Alisson Becker, who, get this, transferred from AS Roma for £66.9 million. So a year after Salah moves over to Liverpool from Roma, now they grab their goalkeeper. Liverpool has also acquired Fabinho.
Yeah.
We mentioned before they went after Shaqiri and they got Shaqiri. They also got Naby Keita from Leipzig for about £52.75 million. So I mean they're really loading up for a Champions League title again. They're loading up, and I think with this lineup, Premier League title isn't out of the question.
My question is, does that make them? Because the gap between them and Man City was 25 points at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Does this close the gap that much?
As a Liverpool fan, no. I still think they're gonna. I think they're the second best team in the English Premier League. I think they're getting closer. Like they're saying they're close to signing Abdul Fakir as well. I think they're closer. But I think Man City, that's a huge gap, man.
Actually, there is one thing I wanted to mention.
I don't think everybody will play that well at City next year.
That's the thing, and this is why
drop off, right?
This is why I think
after a championship,
maybe it's not enough to come back and win the championship. I think they'll close the gap significantly, and there's a decent chance I think of them maybe coming in and winning the Premier League title for one reason as well. Is Virgil van Dijk. See, they got Virgil van Dijk late in the season, and like that, he just turned around their defense.
Yeah, their defense got better.
So
that was the biggest problem.
It was huge, and now you've got a goalkeeper that is like way better than Karius.
Yeah, Alisson solidifies that. He solidified that position.
But did they just get Karius last year?
No, I think that was 2 years ago. So He solidifies. Allison now solidifies their goalkeeping, and like we mentioned, Virgil van Dijk solidifies their defense. They loaded up a little bit more with strikers. Sturridge is saying he wants to stay there now. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to leave.
Well,
We don't want him.
It doesn't matter.
We don't want him no more.
You know what? The thing is, when Sturridge is on, he's a really good player.
But look who they have now in front
I know,
of
but
them.
he's always
and
injured,
Now, and now
too.
if they get Abdul Fakir too, that pushes him even down.
It
even
moves him
more.
down the depth chart even
I
further.
guess he's
yeah.
just gonna have to work harder, right? If he wants to stay
he's
there.
gonna earn it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think as people want to come play in Liverpool all of a sudden.
The Klopp effect.
Yeah, exactly.
It is the Klopp effect.
Jurgen Klopp, this style of play is entertaining.
It's exciting to
Yeah,
play,
people
right?
people want to come play that. They don't want to be sitting back and defending and playing defense the whole time.
Exactly. Even with you in any sport, if somebody's like, "Okay, go attack," or "No, let's just play the track," you want to attack.
Yeah,
right?
you want to attack. You want to be free flowing.
Yeah, that's how I play in FIFA too.
So Sterling might be on his way out at Man City, but they did get Riyad Mahrez for £60 million from Leicester earlier in the summer. Pretty decent pickup for them. But all in all, it's pretty quiet on the Man City front.
Yeah, they don't need to add much. They won the title by what, 19 points over United.
It was big.
Why
It was
change a
big.
thing that's working, right?
Exactly. They have so much talent already.
Yeah, but what else are you gonna do? Unless you go get Neymar or like
Yeah.
Mbappe.
I think that's all they like. If they're gonna do it, they have to go for a major name
Yeah.
now because you already have so many guys. You
You
have
have
to
so
play
much
these
talent.
guys, right?
You have so much talent as it is.
You know what? I don't disagree. I think Mahrez is a good addition for Leicester, and if they
No,
do
you
send
What do you
away,
mean from Leicester.
sorry, from Leicester, he's a good addition to Man City.
Yes,
That's what I
yes.
meant to say. Sorry, but I think if they do end up getting rid of Sterling, they should probably get a pretty decent amount of money that they can still go after somebody who could fit into their lineup, and
Yeah.
maybe they could continue with their dominance that they had over the last season. But let's move on to Chelsea because we mentioned Thibaut Courtois a little bit earlier, rumored to be sold to Real Madrid for £30 million. Chelsea is now going to be looking for a new goalkeeper. Maybe they go after Navas, as long as Navas is going to be the odd man out, maybe in Real Madrid. They also are really close to signing Daniel Rugani for about £44 million from Juve. So, I mean, there's a lot of activity going on right now, especially in England. What are your thoughts on Chelsea?
If they lose Hazard and Courtois,
Yeah.
that's a huge blow.
Yeah. They'll
Regardless of who they're bringing in.
they'll really take a step back if they.
Yeah,
lose
they're
Hazard, too.
already on the Champions League next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Like Rugani's a good signing, but he doesn't make up for the players they're losing, right?
Yeah.
If it was signing him with what they already had, it'd be a
Big
great
difference.
move. But
Yeah,
now
big
it's like they're losing quite a bit.
You never know though. There's still some time left in this window that they can maybe go after somebody else. Who knows?
yeah, they'll probably add a couple pieces. They'll get a goalie for sure.
Yeah.
If Courtois leaves, they'll get a goalie for
They
sure.
have to. I mean, there's no choice at that point.
And then they got to get someone to replace Hazard.
Yeah, and that's a big replacement.
That's.
I don't know how you.
Unless
do that.
unless you try to do it by committee and get two or maybe two guys to do it.
That's probably easier.
That's easier to do, but the thing is, the quality of play won't be the same.
Exactly, it's not going to be.
You
the
can
same.
get a couple of guys for 50, 60 million pounds.
but you don't have that player.
You don't have him though.
Yeah.
So what does this mean for Real Madrid if they add two of the strongest Belgians on their team, two of the leaders from that Belgium squad, Courtois and Eden Hazard?
It means they're right back to being a Champions League contender, like even without Ronaldo.
Yeah.
They're right there again. I would, if they won, I wouldn't be surprised by it. Right? That's two really good pieces. Two Belgians, two friends.
Yeah.
It's good
Just makes
business.
it, I think it makes them that much better as well.
I think.
And you'll see more of a role. Hopefully, Bale stays there, unless he goes to United.
I don't think Bale's going anywhere. I think,
I think
he's going to seize the opportunity.
They're
now.
going to make him the focal point.
I think Benzema's the guy out, right? He's the guy that's leaving.
And that's
probably.
a great point, Justin. Bale, he was a world class player like a year and a half ago.
Yep.
Now he's going to get his opportunity again. You add Hazard to that, and this is a goaltending upgrade. So I like it for them.
And there's a 5-year age difference. I think Courtois is 26 and
Navas
Navas is 31, right? So I mean that's not bad. Half a decade difference between the two. You're getting a younger goalie, maybe better, and
Oh, he's better.
Yeah, I think he's
Has some
I think
time.
he's better.
I think he's better.
has some time as well to sort of keep them at the top of Europe, I guess, over the next few years here. So I think good moves for Real Madrid. Everybody knew they were going to load back up anyway. But let's wait to see whether or not this either of these deals for Courtois and Hazard get finalized. Right now we're talking like they're done deals, but they aren't though. So, but it would be pretty cool if they could get these guys back. Another news after 21 months out, Santi Carzola looks like he'll be making his return to Parma after an injury. So that'll be nice for Parma to get one of their top players back in the lineup after such a long layoff. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit skeptical as to how much he'll be able to add, at least in the beginning. I think it'll take him a little bit of time to.
Yeah, I think it'll take time. But like I said, if he ever gets back to full, I think he can be a decent player.
Oh yeah,
he was good at Arsenal. He was decent at Arsenal.
he was very good.
Yeah, he was a little good playmaker there.
Yeah, and even Spain, he was good.
Oh, he played on the national team.
Yeah,
as well,
he did play on the national team.
Yeah, so if he can get back to his form, start playing, get his endurance back, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Either way, good for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Back,
21
to play the game.
It's a nice story.
Yeah, 21 months is a long time.
Yeah, man, that's a shitload of time.
Speaking of time, that's all the time we have for this segment. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Please do tweet at us at report_weekly. Follow us. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't. We're always listening. And subscribe to our YouTube page. Thanks very much for tuning in this week. And we'll holler at you next week with some more news. Take care.